I'm a man in my mid-20s, and this is the story that broke me before it rebuilt me. 2 years of silence, isolation, and self-doubt came from a single lie I didn't create. I lost the woman I loved, my sense of trust, and the version of myself I thought was healed. And the truth didn't arrive until there was almost nothing left to save. When I was 19, I cheated in a relationship. There's no excuse I can hide behind, and no context that makes it sound better. I did it, and I hated the person I was in that moment. That mistake stayed with me longer than the relationship itself. It shaped how I saw myself, how cautious I became, and how honest I promised I would be if I ever found something real again. That's why when I was 23 and met Alice, I knew from the start I didn't want to carry secrets into it. Alice was different. She was sharp, warm, and effortless in a way that made time feel irrelevant. From the second time we saw each other, we were exclusive. There was no dramatic conversation about it. It just happened. Like we both understood we were stepping into the same direction at the same time. A few months in, when things started to feel serious, I told her about my past. I remember sitting across from her, my heart pounding harder than it should have. I told her everything. She asked questions, wanted to understand who I had been, not to judge me, but to place me properly in her world. In the end, she told me she believed I wasn't that person anymore. She said she cared about how I treated her now, not who I was years ago. That moment felt like forgiveness I didn't know I still needed. Our relationship was good, easy, comfortable. We talked about the future without pressure. Around the 1 year mark, we even talked about moving in together. That's when things shifted. Not between us, but around us. Her friends. At first, they'd been fine with me, friendly enough. But slowly, I started to feel like I didn't belong. Conversations went quiet when I joined. Inside jokes I wasn't part of filled the air. I brushed it off, told myself I was imagining things. Then, without warning, everything flipped. They became overly warm, huggy, touchy, laughing loudly around me. It felt strange, but I told myself it meant acceptance. One of those friends was Samantha, Alice's best friend. She'd always been kind to me, even during the cold phase. She knew about my past and had leaned on me when her own ex cheated on her. One afternoon, she asked if I wanted to talk in the park, said she needed advice. We sat on a bench, leaves rustling around us, and I waited for her to start talking. She didn't. Instead, she leaned in and kissed me. Hard, aggressive. Her hands grabbed my face, her tongue forcing its way into my mouth. I shoved her off almost instantly. My heart was racing, my head spinning, trying to understand what had just happened. She started apologizing, saying she didn't know why she did it, that it was a mistake. Then she stood up and left, fast, like none of it mattered. I sat there frozen. When I finally called Alice, my stomach dropped. Samantha had already called her, and her version was different. According to her, I was the one who started it. I was the one who crossed the line. My past suddenly wasn't history anymore. It was evidence. What followed was chaos. Crying, yelling, me begging to be believed. Alice didn't trust me, not against the word of people she'd known her entire life. She broke up with me over the phone. No face-to-face, no final conversation, just a clean cut. Her friends blocked me. Messages went unanswered. I was erased overnight. After the breakup, days stopped having shape. Mornings blurred into nights. I'd wake up already exhausted, phone beside me, knowing there would be no messages worth opening. Music I used to love felt intrusive. Silence felt louder. Friends spoke to me and I nodded, but nothing really landed. I replayed that park bench over and over, every second, every angle, trying to find the moment where I could have stopped what was already planned before I ever knew it existed. For more than 2 years, I shut myself off. I avoided dating, ignored interest. I didn't trust my judgment or anyone else's. I survived, but I didn't live. Then yesterday, an email appeared on my screen. From Alice. I stared at it for a long time before opening it. Inside were apologies. Messy ones. Desperate ones. She'd found out the truth. The entire thing had been planned. Samantha hadn't acted alone. The whole friend group was involved. They didn't like how serious Alice and I were getting, how quickly we talked about moving in together. They decided to test me, to trap me. Samantha was chosen because we seemed to click the most, and because my past made the lie believable. The others backed her up. Alice found out a week earlier when one of the group had a falling out and decided to expose everything. She wrote that she hadn't dated anyone since we broke up, that she threw herself into work and studying, that she cried for days when she learned the truth. She begged me to meet her just once so she could apologize in person. I didn't feel what I thought I would. For over a year, I'd imagined this moment, the truth coming out, us fixing everything. But reading her words, I felt empty. Still, I agreed to meet her, for her sake. Seeing her again was strange, familiar and distant at the same time. We talked for hours. She apologized sincerely without excuses. I told her I understood why she believed them. They were her childhood friends. I couldn't honestly say I'd have done differently. We even laughed a little, talking badly about people who no longer mattered. She told me she only had two friends now. She asked if we could stay in touch. We started talking, slowly, carefully. Then we started dating again. But it wasn't like before. It was gentler, intentional. She never pushed. We talked about trust constantly. One night she invited me back to her place. She saw my hesitation and told me it was okay if I wasn't ready. That moment told me everything. We're together now. Taking it slow. Building something new on top of what was broken. It's not perfect. There are scars on both sides. But there's honesty, care, and effort. And for the first time in a long time, I believe that sometimes the truth, even when it comes late, can still change everything. So here's what I want to know. If the truth comes too late, does it still count? Would you forgive someone who believed a lie about you, even if you understand why they did? Was going back an act of strength or just fear of letting go? Tell me what you would have done in my place. I'm genuinely curious.